Michael B. Hancock, the mayor of Denver, is under fire today because he's been encouraging people in Denver to stay indoors as much as they can and to not travel to families' houses for Thanksgiving and also not to travel out of state for Thanksgiving. He's been telling them get a small turkey this year and have Thanksgiving either by yourself or with your roommates or the people you live with and cohabitate with, and to basically, stay inside as much as you can. If you have to go out, wear a mask, social distance, and do not travel for the holidays. Now, you might ask, what's the problem with this? Is it some conservatives calling him out for telling people not to travel for Thanksgiving? Well, perhaps. But today, his criticism comes from the conservatives and liberals alike because Mayor Hancock decided that he was going to travel to Texas with his wife and daughter so that they could be together for Thanksgiving. Now, this is in light of him telling other people not to do the same thing. And people in Denver, as well as people around the country, are outraged. So CBS News, the local Denver station of CBS News, did a segment on this, and they talked about not only what the mayor did, but also his statement. So let's check out the statement, and then we'll talk about it.
Small turkey this year and celebrate with just those you live with. Maybe next year we can all be together again. I know this is hard. I know you hate this. I hate this.
And this morning, Denver Mayor Michael Hancock is waking up in a different state with his family after, like you just heard, repeatedly telling all the people in the city to stay home this holiday. Allie Levine is following the story for us this morning. Allie, you just get online and you see what people are posting on social media, and I would say that people are mad, but I would say that's even an understatement.
Yeah, the reaction here is not great this morning, Jordan. People are calling it hypocritical. They're calling it a do as I say, not as I do approach. And it's kind of understandable. I mean, a lot of these people have taken the mayor's advice. For the past few weeks, he has really been urging people to not spend Thanksgiving with family, to stay home, to spend it alone or with their immediate households. There's even actually, we're just really near Colfax right here and kind of just around the corner. At Bastions on Colfax, there's a marquee that reads, "Enjoy your trip, Mayor Hancock," in that really kind of cheeky way there. And as I said, it's a tough pill to follow for all of those folks. So on Friday, Mayor Hancock practically begged people of Denver to stay home. Yesterday morning, he tweeted out another reminder. The same morning, he got on a plane to Mississippi to see his wife and daughter. A lot of Denverites heeded his warnings over the past few weeks, and they aren't seeing their family. Not only is this disappointing for them, but it also makes it harder for some folks to trust his advice on the pandemic moving forward.
And it'll be a lot harder to trust what he advises towards us, since he is telling us to do one thing and then doing the other.
I think it's made it a whole lot easier for people to say, I'm going to disregard that advice. To say, well, if he's not going to do it, either it's not that big of a deal, like we're being led to believe.
So in a statement released last night, the mayor apologized to Denver. He said his decision to travel was, quote, born of my heart, not of my head. And, while I think that plenty of people understand that, everybody wants to see their family. Again, Jordan, there's still kind of that anger there. And other people did ignore their hearts and they made the decision with their head. Once again, listening to what Mayor Hancock and plenty of other politicians and public health officials have been telling them for weeks now.
I find this to be somewhat understandable from a human perspective as a father or a private citizen, but as a person who's in public office, I find it highly hypocritical and reprehensible. Now, what do I mean by this? So, he says, as a father, I was thinking with my heart and not with my head. And as a family man, I was thinking with my heart, not my head. I hope everyone will forgive me. So, as an individual person, I understand this. Because, look, I'm not advocating for people to travel for Thanksgiving. The CDC says traveling is not advised. It's not a good idea. Stay home if you can. Keep the gatherings small, no large gatherings. Let's stop the spread. I agree with that. However, I also understand people who have not seen their families, maybe for an entire year, and haven't seen them frequently because of the pandemic, who are like, hey, I haven't seen my family since like last December around Christmas. And it's been almost a year and I haven't been able to travel. You know, there have been restrictions, so I'm going to go see my family this Thanksgiving. I understand that. And if those people are going to travel and they're willing to take that risk, as long as they wear a mask, socially distance, and abide by the CDC and state guidelines, look, I'm not going to shame them for traveling and wanting to see their family. So, on a personal level, I understand that. But here's why it's different for Mr. Hancock. As the mayor of Denver, you told people and highly discouraged people from traveling. 2 different places, yet here you are doing the exact same thing. You are held to a higher standard. I understand you're a family man. I understand you missed your daughter. I understand all of that. But you swore an oath in office that you were going to lead your people and that you were going to uphold, the law, and also that you were going to set a perfect, not perfect, but a good example for the people who elected you to this office. And you did not do that. You did not set a good example. You decided to let your personal desires to see your family get in the way of you not only staying home to stop the spread, but abiding by your own policy that you called for the citizens of Denver to abide by. And honestly, I think that this is the reason why a lot of people don't like government. This is the reason why a lot of people are so resistant to the lockdown restrictions with COVID, because we've seen our leaders over and over and over again act out as if the rules do not apply to them while telling other people to do it. We see Nancy Pelosi do it, getting her hair done in a salon. She could have, I understand you need your hair done, you're a public figure. You could have had someone do it at your home. You did not need to have a nail salon open up and go against the state restrictions. So there was that. Then you had the governor of California who told people stay home, don't have dinners, don't have Thanksgiving. And then he goes to a fundraiser dinner with multiple people. No one's wearing a mask. People are not socially distancing. And he decides he can do that. Meanwhile, he's making people go in at 10 o'clock and not see their family and friends. So, and now we have the mayor in Denver. So, look, we cannot stop the spread of COVID-19. We cannot move forward as a nation from this pandemic if our leadership is not going to lead. They must stand up and uphold the standard that they are setting for everyone else. Now, look, I live in Philadelphia. My mayor has abided by the CDC guidelines. If my mayor had done this, I would be highly upset, because up until this point, I've been trying my best to abide by all the guidelines, and then here's someone who's in leadership who's telling me I have to do this and I need to do this for the good of everyone, who's not even doing it themselves. Yeah, so people are right to be upset. And, I know people on the right are going to use this as a gotcha. COVID-19's not serious, but I'm rolling my eyes at that, whatever. But yes, people on both sides of the aisle, though, are right to be upset that this guy is setting a standard for everyone else and he's not following it himself. So, it's going to be interesting to see if this story just blows over like a couple of the other ones do, or if it kind of sticks around. Especially because the mayor is a high-profile figure. He marched with protesters who were calling for the defunding of the police back earlier this year in the summer. And he's also, talked about police reform and things like that. So with him being in such a high position and having a high standard set for himself, it's going to be interesting to see how much this story drags out. But, yeah, our leadership has got to do better, man. They got to do better. Because if the people at the top can't do what they're supposed to do, what makes you think anyone else will?